Hi everyone, and welcome to Module 5. This is the week where your perfectly designed program meets the real world, and the real world has opinions. Because up to this point, your program probably looks like it's logical, well supported, and makes sense on paper. And now I'm asking, would this actually work in a clinical setting? This week is about taking your program and adapting it for real clinical environments, which means you will be thinking about providers, workflows, systems, constraints, and yes, time, that one thing that no one ever seems to have enough of. Because here's the reality, a good idea that can't be implemented is not a good program. You're no longer designing in theory, you're designing in clinics, health systems, and real environments, and with real limitations. This week, you will adapt your program for a clinical setting, apply theory to a real-world behavior, and think through implementation. You will also start asking questions like, who's going to deliver this intervention? When does it happen? How does it fit into a provider's day? And what gets in the way? So let's start off with common problems, because we all know they're going to happen. Problem number 1, designing something that no one can actually deliver. If your intervention requires 60 extra minutes, 4 additional staff members, and a level of enthusiasm that simply does not exist, it's not happening. Problem number 2, ignoring workflow. Clinicians are not waiting around for your program. So if your plan is, well, the provider will just, that's where things are going to go wrong. Problem number 3, forgetting the human part, patience. Patients don't always follow instructions, they don't always have time, and they definitely don't always have the resources. So your program has to account for that. This week is where you're going to move from sounds like a good idea to something that could actually be implemented. This clinical adaptation feeds directly into your implementation plan, your methods section, and your proposal in HHP 7060. So what you build here, you will actually use later. As you work, ask yourself, is this realistic in a clinical setting? Does it align with provider roles? And does it still reflect my theoretical framework? If your program only works in a perfect scenario in the perfect world, it doesn't actually work. If your program works within real constraints, real systems, and involves real people with real problems, well, now you have something meaningful. This week, your program stops being ideal and becomes possible.